So you guys, rather than putting Iffy out there or Will Harris, knowing how bad the secondary is, you want to put out another linebacker?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like that's the common sense thing to do in that situation.
Wow, how is it common
sense?
I think Jack Campbell
they're way worse against the pass and the run.
Can cover tight end or running back just as well as Will Harris could. And he's better in the run.
What about Iffy? Why are we excluding Iffy from the conversation?
Well, he's going to be a safety. I'd rather have Branch and Walker back at safety.
Safety's what we're missing. Kirby's the one out.
Yeah, that's why I'd rather have Branch and Walker back at safety. And then you got your two corners in Jerry and Cam Sutton. And then you can have Jack Campbell cover a tight end or a running back out of the backfield.
Or Derek Barnes even.
I don't know.
And then you rotate them. You could have Anzalone, Barnes, Campbell, and then have Malcolm come off the sideline. But I just think it comes down to knowing your weakness is the biggest strength. Your secondary is depleted right now. You need to figure out a way that you can kind of recompensate, especially to Spenny's point. You're playing against the Atlanta Falcons. If you play a 4-3 and secondary is what you're worried about, are you really worried about Desmond Ridder airing it out, and you're worried about the Atlanta Falcons running it down your throat? And if you do a 4-3, that's how you stop it compared to you relying on a backup safety to make a tackle instead of one of your could-be starting linebackers.
But the whole conversation is, the reality of it, ball knowers, the Detroit Lions, they're good against the run.
They are, absolutely, but we're not saying that. It comes down to they're going up against
personnel.
It's just
and matchup-wise.
I'd rather have the safety out there. That's where they're getting killed at.
What wide receivers are you scared of that are going to kill you against?
Well, Drake London especially.
Okay, so
Drake
Cam
London
Sutton's going to be on. You don't want to.
I'd rather have
Fonwu guarding Drake London anyways. You want Cam Sutton on him.
I want him over a linebacker. That's for damn sure.
You don't put him over linebacker. You have Cam Sutton follow him around.
I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, unfortunately. I don't know if they have that type of defense. I don't know if Cam's that type of guy, to be honest with you.
I don't know if
I'm sure if they ask him to, obviously he'll do it. But
I don't know if he's that type of guy to be like, yeah, I'd rather have him out there than.
Well, you have Iffy, who's a former cornerback, though, playing the safety position.
Yeah,
I'd rather have him in coverage.
First-round pick in Jack Campbell.
I'd rather have Iffy in coverage than Jack Campbell.
Okay.
All day. Jack Campbell's not even good at the start right
So
now.
you're not worried about the Falcons rushing attack at all. You're more worried about Desmond Ridder and the aerial assault.
I'm 100%.
That is crazy.
You call it crazy if you want.
That is crazy.
I don't know why that's crazy. The Detroit Lions have the run game on lock. They have one of the best run defenses in the league.
It's top 10, but it's through 2 weeks.
No, but even dating back to last year,
and they played the Chiefs, who don't have a running back on the roster. Like, Pacheco's not what everybody thought he was going to be.
Well, he's good.
And the Seahawks, who, they stopped
Kenneth Walker
pretty good, but they were down
and then you're talking about the first 2 games. This is like largely the same cast from last year, and the same run defense situation last year. They still had a great run defense last year, too.
And the Falcons are a top 4 offensive line, top 5 offensive line in the NFL.
Probably
I wouldn't
the
say
best
that.
run block. No,
I wouldn't say that.
They definitely are.
I mean, I'd say top
5.
Yeah, top 5, top 10, maybe. Shout out Megan at Dispo. Kirby Joseph out. I think they're saving him for a Thursday night game against the Packers. Lucas, Spinney, they want to throw in an extra linebacker. They run on a 4-3 out there. I don't hate the idea, but I'd rather have the extra secondary guy. That's where we're getting
I just think it's crazy that you're more worried about Desmond Ridder and their passing offense than the run game.
Yep. 100% more worried about Desmond Ridder than their passing offense.
That's pretty crazy.
I don't know why it's crazy. We know Detroit Lions stopped the run.
And we know Desmond Ridder can't throw the ball.
He can throw the ball.
He averages like 170 yards a game.
Yeah, he can still throw the ball. Desmond Ridder, honestly, Desmond Ridder scares me.
Bro, we sat down in the living room the other day, and I said that Desmond Ridder is about the same level as Jordan Love, and you're like, no.
Jordan Love's better. Jordan Love's better.
But Desmond Ridder scares you.
What about
Desmond Ridder scares you?
He's conservative. He's clean.
It's hard to not be conservative when you throw the ball 20 times a game, not even.
He's a winner. That's the type of ball. I don't get it. Laugh, giggle all you want. That's the type of player he is. We've seen Tua before he got a Tyreek Hill win those games by being that same type of way. Jared Goff, to a certain extent, plays the game that type of way. Conservatives making the right reads. They have guys that could beat our guys in the secondary 1v1 all fucking day. There's not a linebacker, maybe the hopes of what I think Jack Campbell can be. Maybe someone you might want to see on Kyle Pitts. But outside of him, Kyle Pitts is destroying every. He may even destroy our guys in the secondary.
He hasn't done it yet, and for all of that to happen, you have to be running the ball effectively. And if they're not running the ball effectively, then that's not happening. Like the first step in Desmond Ridder for anything, to unlock Desmond Ridder, just like it is for Jared Goff, just like it is for Ryan Tannehill, for all those quarterbacks, you have to get the running game going first. If you stop the running game, like they said, then you might see that. But you have to do that first.
Well, Lucas, can I tell you this? Last week, Kenneth Walker pretty good running back.
Yeah.
He was stopped last week, and guess what happened?
They
Geno Smith went fucking
Geno
dirty.
Smith is a much better caliber quarterback with much better caliber weapons on the outside.
We know more about
Desmond
Geno than we know about Desmond. But as what we know about Desmond, he just threw his first interception last week. He's just as clean.
It doesn't matter if he's clean. Geno Smith can burn you down the field. I'm not worried about Desmond Ridder burning you down the field because if you can shut down Drake London, that's fine. Geno Smith, if you shut down DK Metcalf, he's got Tyler Lockett. If you shut down both of them, he's got JSN underneath wide open.
You shut down Drake London, they got Kyle Pitts.
And Geno Smith showed that he could throw the ball. Geno Smith showed that he could throw the ball for more than 150 yards a game. Like the guy.
Kyle Ridder threw for 247 last week.
240 against who?
The Packers defense, which I think is probably better than ours.
Yeah, a little bit.
And he almost had a pick six.
He almost had pick six, and he had an actual pick two. But that's fine.
You should be much more worried about Bijan Robinson.
You said
and Tyler
Bijan Robinson
Algier.
is a top 5 running back in the league.
I think he is.
But you're more scared of Desmond Ridder?
Yeah, because I think what's going to happen is we're going to shut down the run, or limit the run, in the same way we did last week. Shut down the run, limit the run, right?
That's how you beat this team,
And they got absolutely destroyed the secondary.
That's how you beat this team, though, is you have to shut down the run.
This team isn't the Seahawks. They don't have the weapons on the outside that the Seahawks do.
Drake London and Kyle Pitts are weapons.
Are they the same caliber of weapon as DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba?
No, they're not. But you guys pretending like they're not something that's like they could fuck you up. It's wild.
I'll respect it, but since his rookie year, when has Kyle Pitts just went off for a game?
They've never had a. I mean, I don't even know if Desmond's a guy, but they've never had a guy that even allow him to be up.
You're scared of that guy that he doesn't have.
Yes, he still wins his route releases 100%.
And we're not saying that, but there's a reason
beyond that
he's not.
too, is like the tight ends against Detroit just in general, historically, even with this regime, have destroyed this team. Last week too.
You're not wrong there, but it still comes down to the fact, like, the tight ends, like, if you look at Will Dissly last week, it's because they had to guard 3 receivers and even Kenneth Walker out of the backfield before him. And it came down to missed tackles. If he out there, I'm much more worried about him missing a tackle compared to a linebacker.
I don't know. Anzalone missed a lot of tackles last week.
He does, but still at the same time, as a consistent level, Anzalone's a captain of this defense. He calls the shots. He has a much more better awareness of the field than I think Iffy does, who's coming off. He is coming off the bench.
I'm definitely standing my ground. Would rather have Iffy out there than an extra linebacker. I mean, rotate the linebacker.
I'm more worried about Bijan in the run game than I am Desmond Ridder in the pass game.
Yeah. And that's fair. Again, I do like Bijan. I respect the Detroit Lions' run defense. I think the league does. Aiden Hutchinson spoke with the media yesterday too and was like, we have a similar game plan to what we had against the Seahawks.
Doesn't.
Carolina doesn't. No, they definitely caught us. But again, Carolina has 2 running backs of the 4 that have only ran for 100 yards over the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
Well, Atlanta Falcons have a top 5 offensive line, top 5 running back in the league in your eyes, and a guy who rushed for 1,000 yards last year.
The whole situation too with them. We didn't play them last year, but I doubt they did that against us. Just saying.
I mean, yeah, if some butts was candies and nuts, I doubt Desmond Ridder's going to go out there and throw for 300 yards. Just saying.
And top 5 offensive line. I don't know why they give them so much credit. They got a rookie on that offensive line.
Dude, but they have one of the best guards in football, and Jake Matthews, who's great. Like
Lindstrom's been struggling.
When you go across the board as run blocking, they're probably the best in the league. Now, when it comes to pass blocking, not so much. But when they're a running offense with Arthur Smith, they're definitely one of the top tier rushing offensive line in the league, and they have a great backfield behind them.
It's one of those situations to me. It's kind of similar to the Bears leading the league in rushing. It was like, okay, yeah, you're up there in rushing, but it's kind of all you have to offer on the offensive side of the ball.
Joey 2 times says only 2 Atlanta wide receivers have receptions so far this year.
Collins and London.
Yeah. Drake London didn't catch a ball.
That's another guy too. I forgot they got Jonnu Smith over there too. Which I mean,
that'll be the guy that'll
laugh at that, but that'll be the guy.
That'll be the guy. Yeah, that'll be. I think he'll.
I like Jonnu Smith.
He's all right.
I like him, but you guys are mentioning Jonnu Smith and Mac Hollins and not scared of Bijan Robinson?
Spenny, me and you are on the same side here.
Like, we're talking about Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, a guy who had 1,000 yards in the NFL last year, and you're just blowing over them being like, well, they got Jonnu Smith, so look out for him.
The thing that actually does scare me about the run game is they have the ability to switch it up where, like, speaking about the Saquon Barkley being shut down for, just the 22 yards, they have that change of pace where obviously Bijan's more the scat. I don't want to call him a scat back, but he makes the moves. Where you have Taylor Algier who's going to, like, run the football down your throat. They do have that ability to mix it up and stay fresh, where I guess I can't really think of any situations like that referring to the Detroit Lions where they have stuffed or stopped. Because the whole situation with the Panthers is it was Foreman, Hubbard, all those guys running against us. And maybe that's what helped them, a platoon of running backs there versus just one guy.
Mm-hmm.
There is that. But, again, I guess I'm pretty confident, just as I'm sure the Detroit Lions are in their abilities to stop the run when it comes to these guys. I'm just nervous about getting killed in the secondary. That's where we get killed consistently. So that's why it's my number one priority, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just these Falcons pass catchers don't strike fear into my heart like Bijan Robinson.
Like, what do you think would be more likely to happen? If the Detroit Lions defense didn't show up whatsoever, would it be harder for the Lions to stay in the game if the Falcons are passing the ball or running the ball?
The passing the ball, I think we definitely – I mean, there's chances of turnovers, obviously. A lot more chance of turnovers.
But if they're running all – they're just going to rule the time of possession.
Well, yeah, that's any team, though.
But I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I like
That's what the Falcons do.
That's like that. They can – even besides the 49ers, I think the Falcons have a chance at ruling the time of possession against any NFL team, just the way that they're built.
Yeah.
Not saying that they win every game, but, like, playing at their best, they can kill you in time of possession.
Yeah. If Montgomery's healthy, I put us up there too. But, you're not wrong. Yeah, I'm just – again, when you look at the weaknesses of this defense, it's quite clearly the secondary. It hasn't seemed to matter who it's been. They're kind of just shitting on them the past 2 years. That's why it's my concern versus, like, what's considered a strength of ours. But speaking of the strength –